In 2011, Japanese documentary director Takeuchi traveled to Shangri-La to film a series about the Yangtze River. As his camera captured the stunning mountain scenery, the lens accidentally caught something unexpected. A young Tibetan girl standing by the roadside, holding a small white lamb in her arms. Her name was Cimu. She was only 17 years old. She had dropped out of school in 4th grade. When she knew nothing about what love even meant, her family had already arranged for her to marry a stranger. Every day from 7 in the morning until 5 in the evening, she stood there hoping tourists would pay $1 to take a photo with her lamb. But because she was so shy and introverted, sometimes she would stand in the cold wind all day long without a single tourist willing to take a photo with her. When the kind-hearted actor Dongdong saw her, he quickly called over the director and cameraman. The three of them took turns taking photos with Cimu and her lamb. Just like that, Cimu earned $3. As they talked, the crew asked, "Do you have any dreams?" Cimu shook her head and said no, but something slipped out during the conversation. When they mentioned Shanghai, her eyes lit up. She started asking questions about the tall buildings, about airplanes, about this faraway city she had only heard of but never seen. The crew could see the curiosity and longing in her eyes, so they made a decision that would change her life. They invited her to come with them to Shanghai.
那天上是不是有那个飞机的路啊？
天上有飞机的路，这个怎么说呢？No.
When Cimu came home and told her family about the invitation, they immediately said no. For a traditional Tibetan family, letting an unmarried girl travel alone with strangers was simply unacceptable. But her mother saw something different. She saw hope in her daughter's eyes, so she fought for Cimu and finally convinced the family to let her go. A month later, Cimu boarded her first airplane. What is the most mind-blowing moment in your life? For Cimu, I think it was this trip. It completely changed the course of her life. She rode the subway for the first time, trains moving underground, something she had never known existed. She stood at the base of skyscrapers that stretched so high, she had to tilt her head all the way back just to see the top. She could not believe everything Dongdong had told her was actually real. And that night in the hotel, she discovered rooms could have their own bathrooms and heated floors. These small details planted something in her mind. 3 months after she returned home, she wrote the film crew a letter. In it, she said, "When I was little, I had a dream. I wanted to study hard, go to a big city, and become a musician. But my grandfather, who paid for my education, passed away. I had to drop out of school. That dream failed. But now I have a new dream. I want to open a small guest house, and if I succeed someday, please help me promote it." 10 years passed. In 2022, director Takeuchi was preparing to film a sequel to his documentary. He remembered his promise to Cimu. Without telling her, he decided to go find her. When he arrived, he realized it wasn't a small guest house at all. It was a full-size hotel. He was completely shocked. He could not believe Cimu had actually succeeded in realizing her dream. Director Takeuchi kept his promise. He helped promote her guest house and even brought her to Japan for the documentary premiere. He also took her to visit Japanese guest houses. I am sure you are all curious. How did Cimu go from an ordinary girl holding a lamb for photos to a successful guest house owner? The truth is, the journey was far from smooth. After returning from Shanghai, Cimu got married just as her family had arranged. She had 2 children. When people asked if she was happy about becoming a mother, her answer was completely unexpected. "I did not feel happy. I did not feel sad. I just felt okay." But whenever someone mentioned opening a guest house, her whole face would light up. Opening a guest house was when she felt most alive. I think maybe she once had innocent feelings about love when she was young, but in her real life, there was no romance. Opening this inn, that was her true love. That was her dream.
当时我的梦想也没有想过，哦，我要把人推销出去，怎么让更多的人去认识我啊，怎么样。我是希望我的梦想是让更多的人去知道这个民宿。
Over the next few years, Cimu worked at several guest houses in Shangri-La. She was obsessed. While her coworkers clocked out at 5 o'clock sharp, Cimu stayed late. She cleaned extra rooms. She studied every single detail of how to run a place like this. Her family thought she was losing her mind. Her mother said to her, "Why are you killing yourself for someone else's business? Your salary is so low. Are you the owner?" Her mother even called Chimu's boss and said, "She is not working here anymore. Find someone else." Cimu said her boss was most terrified of her mother, but Cimu did not care what anyone said. She kept doing things her own way. Because she loved it, she never felt tired. She knew this was not just her dream. It was her only path to realizing her own worth and claiming her freedom. In 2019, she made the biggest decision of her life. She decided to build her own guest house. The guest house would be built on her family's home property. But there was one massive problem. She had no money. So she went to multiple banks and borrowed a total of over $150,000. Someone asked her, "What if you fail?" But Cimu had it all figured out. She said, "I've already considered the worst-case scenario. If it fails, our whole family can just work for 5 years, and we should be able to pay everything back." Construction began, but halfway through, she ran out of money. She went back to her parents. They were moved by her persistence and helped her borrow money from relatives and friends. After 3 years, her guest house was finally completed and open for business. But the timing could not have been worse. She opened right in the middle of COVID-19 at the height of the pandemic. Almost no guests showed up, but the bank does not care about a pandemic. Every month, those loan payments came due, and Cimu could not make them. I cannot even imagine that kind of pressure. In desperation, her family made a heartbreaking choice. They sold their cattle and sheep. These animals had fed the family for generations. When neighbors saw them selling off their livestock, they figured the family was just getting out of the ranching business. Nobody knew the real reason. Cimu could not cover the interest payments on her loans. During those months, Cimu lay awake every night. She knew she had gambled everything her family had. Life has a way of changing just when you need it most. In 2022, everything shifted. Director Takeuchi returned to Shangri-La to film his documentary, The Yangtze River. When the film was released, people were deeply moved by Cimu's story. Suddenly, her guest house was fully booked. Tourists came from all over China, even from around the world, just to meet her. What touched Cimu even more was that guests started leaving messages in her guest book. One person wrote, "I was lost when I watched your documentary. Now I have found my direction." Another wrote, "I was 8 years old when I first saw you in a video. Now I am 15 and I finally got to meet you." Someone else wrote, "You inspired me to chase my own dreams." Can you imagine what it feels like to read those words? Your struggle, your persistence, it gave hope to complete strangers. I think that is Cimu's greatest success, not just that she built her guest house, but that she proved ordinary people can change their own destiny. But fame brought problems too. Internet trolls flooded her social media. Cimu thought about defending herself, but then she stopped. She just shrugged and said, "I cannot explain myself to everyone. Let them say what they want. At least my guest house is getting attention." I really admire that about her. She refused to let other people's negativity steal her peace. Today, Cimu works from dawn until late at night. She cooks for her guests. She cleans the rooms. She personally greets every single visitor. Guests say her food is incredibly authentic and her service makes them feel at home. When people ask if she is happy now, she pauses. She says, "If you are asking about my work and my life, yes, I am happy. If you are asking about my marriage, we have kids, we make it work." Then she said something that shocked everyone. "I do not need romantic love. I love my guest house the way other people love a person. I cannot love someone that way. For me, romantic love is the least important thing. Cimu's daughter is in 3rd grade now. Her favorite subject is English. She says she wants to be an English teacher in Beijing someday. When Cimu talks about her children's future, her voice becomes firm. I want them to study hard and go to college. After that, whatever they choose is completely up to them. If they want to leave home, if that makes them happy, I will fully support them. I will not be sad. I will not hold them back. She wants to give her children the freedom she never had. Cimu's story is not about a man who saved her. It is not about unrequited love. This is about a girl who saw a glimpse of hope and spent 10 years turning it into reality. She borrowed money. She risked everything. She survived an arranged marriage, a pandemic, and crushing debt. She couldn't choose her own love, but she held tightly to her dreams. Among all the messages for Cimu, the most striking one was, "May we all, like Cimu, build the skyscraper we carry in our hearts." And truly, I believe she has done exactly that. To me, she's a powerful reminder that anyone can shape their own life the way they want. I'm curious, what did Cimu's story make you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.